Translation and purport by His Divine Grace to the A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. O learned Brahmanas, when Shukadev Goswami recited Bhagavatam there in the presence of Emperor Parikshit, I heard him with rapt attention, and thus by his mercy I learned the Bhagavatam from that great and powerful sage. Now I shall try to make you hear this very same thing as I learned it from him and as I have realized it. Purport. One can certainly see directly the presence of Lord Sri Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam if one has heard it from a self-realized great soul like Shukadev Goswami. One cannot, however, learn Bhagavatam from a bogus hired reciter whose aim of life is to earn some money out of such recitation and employ the earning in sex indulgence. No one can learn Srimad Bhagavatam who is associated with persons engaged in sex life. That is the secret of learning Bhagavatam. Nor can one learn Bhagavatam from one who interprets the text by his mundane scholarship. One has to learn Bhagavatam from the representative of Shukadev Goswami and no one else. If one at all wants to see Lord Sri Krishna in the pages, that is the process and there is no alternative. Sutta Goswami is a bona fide representative of Shukadev Goswami because he wants to present the message which he received from the great learned Brahmana. Shukadev Goswami presented Bhagavatam as he heard it from his great father, and so also Sutta Goswami is presenting Bhagavatam as he had heard it from Shukadev Goswami. Simple hearing is not all. One must realize the text with proper attention. The word nivishta means that Sutta Goswami drank the juice of Bhagavatam through his ears. That is the real process of receiving Bhagavatam. One should hear with rapt attention from the real person, and then he can at once realize the presence of Lord Sri Krishna in every page. The secret of knowing Bhagavatam is mentioned here. No one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. No one can be pure in mind who is not pure in action. No one can be pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. But somehow or other, if someone hears with rapt attention from the right person at the very beginning, one can assuredly see Lord Sri Krishna in person in the pages of Bhagavatam. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the first canto, third chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyadi Paschate Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasani Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. O learned Brahmanas, when Shukadev Goswami recited Bhagavatam there in the presence of Emperor Parikshit, I heard him with rapt attention, and thus by his mercy I learned. I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I learned it from him and as I have realized it. We know from the second verse of Srimad Bhagavatam that it says, Parama Nirmat Saranam Satam, that Srimad Bhagavatam, the compiler, Vyasadeva says, it's meant for those who are free from envy. Nirmat Sara Satam, Paramo Nirmat Saram, the Paramahamsas who are free from envy. So envy in the sense that we came into this world envying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, we turned away from his service. So only those who accept Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead, which means devotees. Bhagavatam is meant for devotees. Not from the very beginning we can see it's a personalistic shastra. It's not meant for jnanis or yogis or others. Although we may not be fixed as devotees. So it makes us fixed. It takes us to that pure platform. Now for understanding, it's mentioned here that one should hear with rapt attention. Rapt, this is a word in English. Rapt means if you're looking at something, all the mind attention should be on that thing, nothing else. Rapt attention. He said in the verse that I heard from him with rapt attention. Tejas is it written? Tejas aham bhuri. In that meeting, nivishta. Nivishta here, perfectly attentive. So it's mentioned rapt attention. I heard. He heard it, and thus he received the knowledge. So we mentioned, for example, many times example that Rasikananda, his guru was Shyamananda. If you read Rasika Mangala summary, which is available in ISKCON by His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami, there is mentioned that Rasikananda was hearing Bhagavatam from Shyamananda Pandit. And while hearing, whatever was the reason, he turned his head like to see something is happening somewhere. Then Shyamananda kicked him. His guru got up and kicked him on the head. He said, I'm speaking Bhagavatam, why are you looking there? Anyway, Rasikananda was a great devotee. So he went, cried in ecstasy. I got the foot dust of my guru. Different mood than us. But just to example show, because Shyamananda Pandit was a pure devotee, and he personally met Radharani, who gave him a tilak, special tilak. So whatever action he took is for the well-being of the suffering souls and those who are under him. So everything he did was for benefit of Rasikananda, to show him that Srimad Bhagavatam should be heard with such attention, and he did not strike him out of envy when he attacked him. That was for his benefit, that the highest good is there. Now why are you looking here? I'm giving you the highest benefit. So this is a practical example. Rapt attention, nivishtaha, rapt attention. So now it says here, simply hearing is not all in all. One must realize the text with proper attention. The word nivishta means that Sutta Goswami drank the juice of Bhagavatam through his ears. So this is the real process. Now it says here, one should hear with rapt attention from the real person. But one cannot give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. So as we said at the beginning, that Srimad Bhagavatam is for those who are pure. So now one may say, okay, but we are not pure. We are not pure. So why are we hearing Bhagavatam? We are not on that level. Because some of the sampradayas say that we have to hear, we have to only read Srimad Bhagavatam at advanced level. So to correct that, one of the verses quoted when Sutta Goswami starts to speak Bhagavatam, before speaking he speaks about Shukadeva Goswami, glorifies him, and he said that samsarinam karunyaha purana guhyam. He compiled Srimad Bhagavatam for those who are in worldly life in the cycle of birth and death. Samsarinam. Before that, it's atititir shatam tamo andham. Athina akila shruti saramekam adhyatma deepam atitirshitham tamo andham. So this is transcendental knowledge meant for adhyatma deepam atitirshitham tamo andham. That it's like a torch of light for those who are suffering, atitirshitham tamo andham, in this darkness of ignorance, and who are in this dark well of material existence. Samsaranam karunyaha purana guhyam. So it's meant for them. So if they're not going to read, then who will read it? It's meant for us, it's meant for these jivas. So then how do we reconcile that? It says paramo nirmat saranam satam, free from envy, and it says this is for the fallen people. Because it's for those who want to become pure and who want to become free from envy. It's meant for them. This is our target. Because Prabhupada, he defined pure devotee not only as a free from all material desires, but one who is perfectly aimed at trying to reach that level of purity. That my aim is to become pure. I don't have any other aim, but I'm not pure. Then Prabhupada, because once one reporter asked him, how many pure devotees are in your movement? Then he turned and asked his colleague, one of his disciples nearby, how many people are in our movement? 10,000 pure devotees. So, pure, such a person. So here it says, one cannot give rapt attention, that means attention undivided, fully, 100%, who is not pure in mind. But we cannot be pure in mind who is not pure in action. One cannot be pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing and mating. So now, what does it mean? That when one takes up the process of devotional service in order to awaken bhakti, so we follow the 9 processes of devotional service, and including there is Shravanam. We hear about Krishna, we hear Krishna Katha like we are hearing now. So we hear, and by hearing we understand now that okay, we have to be pure in eating, sleeping, fearing, mating. We have to be devotees. We have to take up a devotional process of life and live a pure life. When we live a pure life, then we have purity. Then we can come on the platform to understand. Because Sattvam Sanjayate Jnanam. Only on platform of Sattva Gun can we attain knowledge. If we want to attain knowledge, Jnana, we have to come on that platform. In the lower modes, impossible. We are too busy struggling with the material nature. Different ways people are struggling because of Maya. It makes us suffer in so many ways. Then there's no question of coming on a platform of peace to understand. We have to be at a peaceful level. So then we have to be in Sattva Gun. For Sattva Gun, eating, sleeping, fearing and mating should be done in a proper way, under Vedic guidance. In that level of purity, then we can come to a stage, a state of mind where instructions are spoken, we can absorb them. Practically, we have also seen, for example, I have seen that if I sit to read Srimad Bhagavatam, the maximum benefit I get by reading Bhagavatam is after, for example, I rested for some time, then I woke up, I took a bath, then I sit and read, and what is imparted to me is much more than if we just sit and read. Of course, you know, it's emergency, you should somehow read it. We are not giving rules to people. But it has been seen that if someone is in Sattva Gun, if someone has taken a bath freshly and had rested, then it's reading with a pure, clear mind, then it's easier to read. Why? Because then we are free from so many other thoughts, influence of Tamo Rajagun. For example, that's why within Bhakti also, say for example in Hari Bhakti Vilas, even Nectar of Devotion, which is explaining about Bhakti, there it's written, one should arise early, clean your teeth and take a bath. There's nothing to do with Bhakti. Why are we doing it? Why Bhakti means Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. Yes, but clean your teeth, it's written. Take a bath, wear fresh cloth, observe rules and regulations, be pure in action. Be pure in eating, sleeping, mating, defending, and then be pure in action. To become pure in action. So action means like action. My activities have to be guided by Shastra and done unmotivatedly for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For example, now we are not engaged in Varnashram, but actually whenever bhakti knowledge is imparted in Gita, in Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is always within Varnashram. Actually, it's meant to be. So, in Varnashram, we'll have different actions, swakarmana, according to our Varna and Ashram. That should be done unmotivated way. That's Daivi Varnashram. Daiva Varnashram. So here it says pure in action. Then everything that we are doing should be for the Supreme, thinking in the mind, not for our benefit or for exploiting. We can use our Varnashram positions for exploitation also, but that will not give a good result. So points are being outlined how we can give proper attention to Bhagavatam. So if we are going backwards here, so no one can be pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, mating, defending. If we are pure in our practices, in Sattva Gun, eating, sleeping, etc., then our actions are pure. Actions are pure, then the mind is pure. Mind is, if you read in the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada writes in the purport, mind is the depository of all our thoughts. It's a place where all our thoughts are put. This life, past lives, even this life earlier, whatever the thoughts we thought are there. We have to be very careful what we think, because it forms a record which is kept. So when we say that someone has to be pure, we can be fully pure practicing everything, but the mind is not on in that level. So the mind has to start. Why? Because thinking, feeling, willing. It starts in the mind. What are we thinking? Feeling. Then we start to feel to do that. Then we'll do it. Thinking, feeling, willing. So pure mind, purity in mind means that it should be meditating on thoughts of what we did. Okay, so what did we do? Then after that is purity in action. One cannot be pure in mind who is not pure in action. We do devotional service. Okay, then voluntarily our mind should be on our service and how to do it. When we are chanting, it should be on the chanting. When we are within the temple doing any of our devotional activities, it should be on that. Manmana bhava madbhakta. Become my devotee. First, put your mind on this activity. So one who is pure in mind, now this is the problem. We are saying that, it's easy for me to say in the lecture, pure in mind. I'm saying that it's written, but now to attain it, we have to attain it. So one who is pure in mind, it says, can hear Bhagavatam with rapt attention. We are practicing sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti is forced remembrance of Krishna. We cannot remember Krishna by force. Wake up, Mangalarti, chanting, distributing books, cooking. But actually, if we can sit and remember Krishna 24 hours, that is the best thing. But we cannot. So we are putting. So then, why chanting is the Yuga Dharma. So let's sit and chant whole day. That also we can't do. We can't even hear Bhagavatam for more than some time. It's not. We are not having the taste. And generations, for example, Prabhupada's guru, he'll give Bhagavatam class minimum 3 hours. It can go to 6 hours. He'll be speaking and everyone will be hearing. They'll sit and hear. So now it's difficult. But it is a great thing if simply someone is coming here. It's a great thing. Someone is coming, putting tilak, showing some enthusiasm, reading, following. This is a very big thing. I heard once from an ISKCON sannyasi. He said, because we were doing book distribution, we were having some argument, and we were saying, the leader, he's doing the, Then they said, oh, it's such a big thing. To do book distribution is such a big thing in Kali Yuga, and for someone to keep some people together, they're all Kali Yuga minds. Simply they're together and the day, and it's going on, this is a big thing. It's a huge thing. So, to come to the stage of a Bhagavat, what is a Bhagavat? Person who's worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavatam is the text in connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So a Bhagavat is always thinking of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We have to reach that level. That Srimad Bhagavatam from beginning to end is only discussing Namani Anantasya Yasha Ankita. Before that, other verse is that discussing what this text is describing Namani Anantasya Yasha Ankitani cha. It's mentioned in 5th chapter that these texts which are discussing about the names, the fame and the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, these are able to create a revolution in a whole society. At least let's look at ourselves. By reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we can change. We can be, our mind, our whole character can change. Yesterday I was reading about Prithu Maharaj, 4th canto. So in the purport, Prabhupada is explaining the duty of the king is to make sure everyone does varnashram. Yes. And at the same time, propagate bhakti. And he says that, and the society is divided into orders. And he said that the orders, the lowest Shudra, like that, Vaishya, Kshatriya. He said even the Shudra can come to level of Brahmana, Prabhupada says. How? He said that this is through bhakti. Then he writes, only through bhakti can someone at a lower stage come to the highest stage. Fully it's possible. Therefore in Bhakti Shastras it's very clear. It's clear that we do not see the body, we don't see the caste, we don't see race, religion. Why? Because it's not the point. One who does bhakti, he's not of that category. A Chinese person is coming, he's not Chinese anymore. You can see because he's practicing everything, that conditioning is not there. So this is the power of devotional service. And one who wants to hear Bhagavatam very clearly, understand it, to absorb the message, has to come on this platform. Other things there, even if we are not, we hear. Bhagavatam makes us come on that platform. It helps us to come. But finally, to fully appreciate and read and hear Bhagavatam, like how these personalities sat 7 days without eating, drinking, for that one has to have that purity of mind. So, therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam we are distributing it, people are reading. But the person who is hearing it, who is practicing bhakti, devotional service, and somewhat advancing in bhakti or advanced, he can give the meaning. Not only he can give the meaning, but his Bhagavatam speaking will have effect. Those who are speaking, it says here in the last, I think 7 purports, same thing is mentioned. Don't hear from professional reciter, don't hear from professional reciter. But you know, some 5 years ago, an initiated devotee called me for a program because he called some Bhagavatam reciters who are professional. They were from Kerala, they were traveling, speaking. For some donation, they will cook, offer, and speak Bhagavatam, and he'll call. He was initiated. Then I thought, now I know why Prabhupada repeats 6, 7 times. Again. And people don't understand it. That it's a point. That those people, are they pure in these things? Are they practicing bhakti? If not, they'll not have effect. The preaching won't have effect. Otherwise, in the same narration of that Prithu Maharaj series, there's one verse, there's Uttama Shloka Mahan Mukha Chuto, that if we are hearing the Uttama Shloka about Vishnu from those personalities, Mahan Mukha Chuto, for the great personalities, and the vibration is coming from their mouth, then Mahan Mukha Chuto Bhavad Shadarati Bhakti. Okay, I forgot the second part. But it says that since they are meditating on the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then when they are speaking, then they are able to broadcast the saffron dust particles from the lotus feet of the Lord. In other words, the message of Bhagavatam and the potency, they are able to convey it in their speech. Yeah, so the verse is Sa Uttama Shukra Mahan Mukha Chuto Bhavat Padam Bhoja Sudha Kana Nilaha Smritim Punar Visritim Punar Tattva Vartmanam Ko Yoginam No Vitarati Alam Vare. That glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very powerful when spoken by persons who are devotees. When the transcendental vibration of their mouths, through the vibration of their mouth, transcendental messages of their mouths, devotees carry the aroma of saffron dust particles from the lotus feet of the forgetful living entities. We forgot the Supreme. So, Suta Goswami, he is speaking. He said that I heard with rapt attention. That time Parikshit Maharaj was there. I also heard. So, Yathaditam, I am going to convey what I heard with rapt attention, according to my realization. Yathaditam yatha mati, according to my realization. Because we'll speak, even in that assembly, Vyasadeva, Narad Muni were there. They spoke Bhagavatam, they knew Bhagavatam, but they sat to hear that realization of Shukadev Goswami. Suta Goswami also heard. So according to his level, he's saying, I'm going to speak according to what I heard, because he is humbly saying that according to my level of purity. We are saying that on a high level of purity one can communicate actually the message and purify. It's a process, scientific process. One has to become pure and speak. And where Prabhupada always spoke about my students, our students, when he spoke to the reporters. Actually, student life is brahmachari. He will not use that word. Our students. So what are students learning? They come to the ashram to learn. What do they learn? Brahmachari, Guru Kule, Vasan, Danta, Guru Hitam. They come to control senses and develop purity. Purity in their actions, thoughts, mind, self-control, all this, so that they can come on the path and come on a level where they can properly take up devotional service. That is, we are speaking about brahmachari and Krishna consciousness. Other brahmacharis are there. So the purpose is that they can develop this purity, and so they can understand it properly. With the purity we can understand and we can communicate and say. So this is something on a different level. It's on a different level. It's emphasized again and again that if we want to understand the Vedas, we have to come on a pure level. Bhagavatam, much more. Bhagavatam, not only sattva gun, but actually we have to be a devotee to understand. We have to be a devotee. Then we'll get this state of mind, consciousness to understand. We distribute so many books. It's not that many of people are not coming. They will come in the future, they'll get purified. But we see those who are pure, more pure, they'll come faster, quicker. They immediately attach to it. Mostly from some past life, or because of pious upbringing, they were able to. So Suta Goswami is saying, as far as my realization, I will speak. Shravarishyami, I shall let you hear Bhagavatam now, because he was asked so many questions. So now he's going to speak according to his realization. Vyasadeva is narrating this beginning part. Then next chapter is Narad Muni appearing. But Suta Goswami is going to speak what he heard from Shukadev Goswami. And in the assembly is Shaunak Rishi. In the assembly is we are there. We are hearing also now Suta Goswami. Our Bhagavatam is coming through Suta Goswami, basically. We are hearing from him. And anybody who develops this purity, they're able also to do the same thing. There is no limit, in the sense, there is no limit that we are so far away, we are in Kali Yuga and all this, that is there. But one who becomes a pure devotee, he can alone deliver everything. Prabhupada writes, and I was searching once, so many times I had to go to places, use news centers, assisting. So I used to search what Prabhupada says about that. Then in one comment, Prabhupada wrote that how many people you need to open a center. Because a few times I met devotees. Once I met some devotees from one temple in somewhere in North India, Northwest. And they were saying, how can you do that? At least you should be 4. How can you go, 2 or 1 or whatever? So then I was thinking, is it true? Is it true? Then I was searching the record, and Prabhupada said to open a center, 1 person is required. Sincere, if you're sincere. But if 4 or 5 are there and they're not, then it won't happen. So basically what we are taught by our seniors, it's like that sincerity of purpose, that one who wants to attain perfection and sits to hear and does anything, then we are able to get some empowerment. Otherwise, it's not possible. It's bhakti. The bhakti process is under Krishna directly. We can say under Radharani. Mahatmanastu mam partha, devim prakritim ashrita. Every time Radhashtami comes, we are reminded that is the verse where Radharani is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Because bhakti is conducted under her, and Maya is conducted under Durga Devi. Anything we do for sense gratification comes under the energies of Durga Devi. If we do something in bhakti, it comes under energies of Radharani, her guidance. So on that level of purity, then we can understand Bhagavatam. We can realize and we can teach. We have to come on that level. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, how to come on that level? Gradually, by purity in life. Develop purity. Purity means not for me, not for my sense gratification. Free from anger, lust, envy, greed. These have to go. And when we reach that purity, then we can come on this platform to understand Bhagavatam. We want to understand Bhagavatam. We also want to teach. We also want to distribute. So that can be attained also by Bhagavatam. How to come on that level? Keep hearing. It is the means and the end. The goal is that we can hear and realize the teachings of Bhagavatam. How will we do it? By sitting and hearing the teachings of Bhagavatam. Gradually we can do it in a pure way. Hare Krishna. Any question? Yes.
So this point about we have to be pure in mind and completely pure to be able to understand Bhagavatam, but also samsari people have for the samsari this Bhagavatam was given. But what about the speaker? If he is not on the topmost, like pure level, but still he has to speak, he has to do the duty of giving Bhagavatam.
So will the potency...
So about that, because when they question other sampradaya that we are not qualified to hear, we can at least quote that this is for the samsari nam, but it's a bit how can the speaker?
How can the speaker be? I recall asking this question 2006 in one class, and that was when I first joined, and I was listening from a speaker, and I heard it sounded very good. Shukadeva Goswami speaking Bhagavatam, Suta Goswami, Narad Muni spoke. Then I'm seeing the person speaking. I said, okay, this sounds very nice, but I'm hearing from you. I was new, I didn't know how to put it diplomatically, but they were very understanding. So this is the answer I got. That yes, Bhagavatam, of course there are levels. For example, if a person is doing puja, initiated devotee, very senior, and a new person, there's a difference. There is a difference. If someone is cooking, someone is offering, there's a difference. There is a difference than a higher, lower devotee. However, purification does happen if the person is properly situated in following four regular principles, chanting 16 rounds, attending Mangalarti, and surrender to his authority. Then the chain is there, the sampradaya parampara, through there it comes, the potency will act. And then I can say also clearly that when I first joined, I was in a very disturbed state. Well, I am now also, a little bit more that time. So in that 6 months, I sat and heard Bhagavatam every morning, and I got such a benefit. And I was trying to see what changed me in that 6 months. Because before that, I was also chanting. Before that, I was taking only prasad, but I was, of course, not in the ashram. I was working, but I was taking only prasad. I was attending satsang, chanting 16 rounds, following 4 eggs. Only difference is I didn't sit and hear Bhagavatam. I also did Mangalarti on my own, but I did not sit and hear Bhagavatam. So anyway, the answer to your question is that if the personality is properly situated in his vows and subservient to his authority, then that parampara Shakti comes through parampara, then it acts. And so that is the thing. Better if the person can be initiated. But in a case that person not there, even someone speaking but sheltered and having mercy or having gotten mercy from another person through shiksha, that will also. Yeah. So that's the...
I just want to clarify that this was not a targeted question.
Definitely I understand. It's good. No, that's not that. Yeah. As I said, I asked the same because we had to know that. Yeah, other sampradayas say that. They say that, okay, we are speaking Bhagavad, you're teaching, but who are you? They will say that. And we will ask the same thing I mentioned to you once. So this is the answer, that Bhagavatam has potency, and the person has to be in devotional principles and vows, then it can act. In the same way that we see even a new person, because book distribution is also a bhakti, devotional act. So a new person, not even properly situated, can distribute books. Krishna is allowing that, okay, my mercy will come through you. How is it possible he is giving Gita? But he is situated in his devotional principles, which means he's getting mercy of his predecessor authorities and from Krishna. So then it's possible. Of course, it will be very different if someone very advanced speaks. We cannot say it's the same. That's Mayavad. But because Bhakti is such a powerful, it's the school of Bhakti, it's very powerful, spiritual principles. So one who practices, the purification is there, it comes very fast and you get empowered. Yes. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.